Who likes stories?
I like stories. That peaked in the mic. Maybe we should. We should.
Yeah, let's push that mic back.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Do we just gonna keep rolling with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Hey, guess what, guys? We wrote some stories.
Yeah, we did. But after last Storytime episode, I was just wanting to go home to my roots.
Yep, and I stayed to my roots. Truman was disappointed with my choice.
It was a good story.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, I'm sure that you'll find that this story is very suitable for me to write.
We're doing stories, guys. We haven't even said who we are. We're the Chatmen.
Oh my goodness, how could we be so not...
I'm Truman.
I'm Phil. Also, they already know that, probably. But I'd like to point out that it's episode 25, and that means it's probably been around a year since we started.
About a year.
Yeah, so...
Happy almost birthday, Chatmen.
I don't even know, we probably skipped some time, right?
What do you mean?
Exactly half of 52 weeks is 26, and since we do this twice
around Christmas we missed an episode.
So I'm just saying, maybe this might be the anniversary right now. But we don't actually know. If we know, then we'll post it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Professionalism. By the way, I got a haircut.
Yeah. You did. Looks good.
I look handsome. I look like a military man. And I'm going to just use the same joke that I said just a second ago before we started recording. I said, I look like a military man besides the sideburns, beside burns. And then I was like, that's the coolest thing I said all day. Thanks.
My roommate, Jeremy, had a good joke. We're driving by a brown shoe fit company.
Yeah.
They're having a big tent sale.
Yeah.
So there's a giant tent in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And Jeremy's like, whoa, what is that? And I was like, it's a brown shoe fit company. You know what's going to happen, don't you, Phil? Already.
No.
But I was like, they're doing some big sale, so they got a tent. It's the big tent sale. And Jeremy said, wow, that's intense.
Awesome.
That was good.
All right, so I'm going to set this up to storybook mode, and we can
Storytime book mode.
Storytime book mode here in the word options. And I'm just going to check through. Yep. All right. Yep. Looks like I got everything all in order. Just so you guys know, I started this story about 4 hours ago. I think I work the most productive under last-minute panic because I just work solidly for 4 hours straight, and I think I got it as good as I could possibly get it. Also, we're sponsored by Red Bull, even though I don't really like Red Bull, I just drink
Original Red Bull's okay.
This cranberry stuff is alright in comparison to the crap that the silver and
I
blue.
think the normal stuff tastes alright.
Yeah.
Just tastes like vaguely citrus energy drink.
Yeah.
Kinda.
But anyway, whatever. Here we go. Here's our story.
You got a title for this story, Phil?
The Titans of Titan.
That's pretty cool. It's probably the coolest.
I just made that up.
Title.
Just made that up just now. I didn't write it. I just said it, and I rolled with it because that's what I do. That's how I write. All right, so I got to get the voice right. Let me drink some water. A legend is passed down each generation that once every 2.5 centuries. I'm gonna move my laptop because my neck is hurting.
That you were gonna aim your head the wrong direction.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Okay, start over.
All right. A legend is passed down each generation that once every 2.5 centuries, a horrible, unnatural disaster takes place in which giant, godlike beasts awaken from their slumber and wreak havoc upon the icy lands of Titan. If the legends are true, then that means tomorrow morning at exactly positive 5 a.m.
Positive 5?
They'll be up and about.
Is there a negative 5 a.m.?
If you want our protection, you must go and take them out to prevent our bases from getting destroyed. I just realized just now that I didn't mention any bases once they got to Titan. so just roll with it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll introduce them in the next story, maybe. Allison,
you didn't answer my question.
What?
Is there a negative AM?
Sure.
Negative 5 AM?
Well, I mean, these are going by, like, Titan is a moon of Saturn, so, I mean, whatever time schedule as you're going around the Saturn gas giant, you can figure something out in your head. Just, if it's over in the Western Hemisphere and it's negative, it's over
Because I was thinking maybe, like, if we consider midnight as 0, then negative 5 AM would be 5 hours before midnight.
Sure.
So it's like...
But there's also AM and PM.
So it's like 7 PM.
Well, there's, there you have it.
Okay.
Alright, so Allison, the alligator-like Lizardman, rumbled. Your job is to terminate 2, maybe more giant monsters on this moon. It just says giant monsters. But anyway, Chadwick stretched his arms and cracked his knuckles. Nothing we haven't done before. We took out that 30-something foot Gigantosaurus right outside this cave this one time. Desmond intervened. Oh my gosh, this chair is squeaky. Desmond intervened. But when you say giant, how big are we talking? Allison stroked his elongated reptilian muzzle. About 100 yards tall, he said finally.
That's pretty tall.
Yeah. Chadwick's jaw dropped. My bad, never mind. To be precise, I actually don't know what a yard or even a foot is when measuring things. Can I get that measurement in hands? He said, laying one hand on top of the other. Desmond stroked his chin. Well, 100... No, crap. It's Desmond, not Allison. Well, 100 yards is about 300 feet, so 300 feet is about 900 hands. Growler interjected, adjusting his shades. That is at least or exactly 1 shit ton of hands.
That's a lot of hands.
What do you think he needs them all for? Chadwick turned to Desmond. A better question is what is a 900-handed monster doing with only 300 feet? You'd think that would make him like a little heavy-handed around the hands region? Desmond stammered. No, you guys, you asked me the measurement. 1 hand is 4 inches and 1 foot is 12 inches. I just did some simple math, multiplication, to get how big they were, and that's how I got my answer. I think this math-tiplication that you speak of is a little old-timey, Chadwick said. Sounds a little too big. Actually, it's not big enough, Allison said. You're both wrong. I don't know what the fuck kind of measurement system you're going by, Desmond. But when I say the monsters are somewhere around 100 yards tall, I mean like front yards. All 4 of them stared at the Gatorman. What? Allison said. That's like 1,000,000 feet, Growlard said.
Geez.
Well, no, not quite, but like, it might as well be, Desmond screamed. You want us to fucking die, mate? Chadwick shouted. We got this though anyway, guys, Growlard said. Let's be on our way. No, let's be our way. That's how I had it typed.
Proofreadings for squares.
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of feel bad sending you out to die like this, Allison said. So I'll come with you. It's a long and arduous journey to your wham-ass. That's winged and massive spaceship, for those who are just tuning in.
I think you guys should learn the canon.
Yeah. Get with the times.
Get with the times.
Read the story. Listen to the story times. Alright. And since this is bug mating season, I'd like to accompany you and make sure you don't get killed by some insectmen before your departure. Whatever mashes your potatoes, Chadwick said. Growlard looked to the light of the cave dramatically and said, What is a potatoes? So
They're missing
intense.
out.
Yeah.
Potatoes are the best.
Yeah. We'd be grateful to have you accompany us, Allison, Desmond said. It's like you're actually doing stuff now. Well, take it as a return to symbolize my thankfulness that you brought our superstar soldier, Growlard, back to us safe and sound. And for you to know what that's all about, it's episode, 20? I don't remember. Something 19? 18?
Here's what we'll do. It's going to be a pain for when we actually
No, don't.
No, I'm saying right now. Click
it's
on Phil's face.
Labeled?
Phil's face in this video. See his little face? Click on that face. There's going to be an annotation. We got a whole playlist of these episodes.
Just go to the playlist and look for the 4th one. Don't even worry about that annotation, because I referenced the...
Or watch all of them.
Yeah, do that. Anyway, Um, um, yeah, what is a potatoes? And then, we'd be grateful to have you accompany us, Allison, Desmond said. It's like you're actually doing stuff now. Well, take it as a return present to symbolize my thankfulness, I already said that you brought our superstar soldier, Growlard, back to us safe and sound. They all looked to Growlard, who continued to stare dramatically towards the light of the cave. Pot hat A is toast-tatoes, he said to himself. Was he like this when we picked him up? Desmond asked. Allison said, I don't know anything about that, but what I do know is that is one sculpture of a rump. Everyone gave him an uncomfortable look. What? Allison said. After they left the cave, Desmond led the way, hacking and slashing at the brush with his plasma machete. Growlard followed behind him, walking casually, breaking every vine with his hands and feet that Desmond managed to miss, rather than stepping over them or ducking like Desmond intended them to do. Behind Growlard, of course, was Allison, the alligator-like Lizardman, and chieftain of all the Venetians. We're on Venus, just so you guys know. Following him was Chadwick, who darted his plasma rifle for any oncoming giant bugs. And finally, Hawking, Desmond's trusty space eagle, who was waiting outside the cave during the entire meeting. Following behind them, bobbing his head and strutting like birds tend to do, even when they're 6 feet tall. The jungles are dense on Venus, and it seemed as though every single time they went through it, they had to recut a new path because of the foliage's growth rate. We should arrive shortly, Allison stated. Is it hot right now? Growlard asked. Yeah, can't you tell? Chadwick asked. Nope, Growlard said. Step your watch, Asselin. Allison stepped on something squishy while checking his watch. Damn it! Or damn it. Sorry.
Both of those, pick one.
Yeah, he said step your watch, so he checked his watch, and because fucking Growlard, I guess, is dyslexic, or dyslexic. Lestic. I don't even know.
What do you call it? What's dyslexia, but it's for full words?
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes. And then sometimes he just says whatever. It was a rather large groundwood worm that he stepped on. Chadwick snapped and fired 3 or 4 plasma bolts directly into the spot where the worm was before his first shot exploded it into pieces. Hawking let out a squawk, an angry squawk. He could have eaten that. Desmond leapt and tripped over a green twig. What the hell's going on?
Just a green twig.
just a green twig. Let me drink some water real quick. Alright.
Great use of adjectives there.
A green twig. What the hell's going on? A worm! Chadwick shouted, his words dripping with hatred. All 2 of his words. All 2 of them. I just said his words when he said a worm. But anyway. Alright, what the hell is your problem with worms anyway? My mom and my dad were killed, they said. Said they were shot. I thought that was pretty fishy since they were both pretty handy with their plasma pistols. So I decided to check it out on their grave. I found out the real reason they died there. Once I dug them up, they were covered in worms. Worms ate my parents. Now they're dead. All worms must die.
Wait.
What? Slow down. Desmond stopped. You dug up your parents' graves? I knew there couldn't be anyone out there that could shoot my parents to death. When I found out it was the worms that were eating them, even after they were dead and in the ground, I knew they died by being eaten by worms. I just knew it. They just didn't tell me. Who's they? Desmond asked. But the green twig he tripped over earlier was the leg of a giant praying mantis that was eating the head of a not as green, smaller, but still quite large praying mantis.
It's disgusting.
It let out a cross between a cackle and a hiss and reared back on its hind legs, its scythe-like forelegs reflecting light off the sun. Shoot it, Chadwick, Desmond yelled, holding his plasma machete up. But Chadwick was on the ground in a ball, mumbling about worms killing his parents. And Hawking was behind him, figuratively flipping shit because he stepped on the worm. Allison wasn't even scared, because on his side, he had a companion, a man by the name of Growlard, who, in his opinion, had a nice, good, firm... Growlard stepped forward and caught both of the praying mantis's forelegs between his fingers. Then he snapped him off.
Between his fingers? Which fingers? Index, middle, thumb finger?
Pinky, ring.
That's pretty nifty.
Yeah, just caught him with them.
Ha!
Yeah.
Snap.
And then he snapped him off. Alright, where am I at? Where was I? You cut me off and it scared me. Okay, then he snapped him off. The mantis shrieked and studied his opponent warily with its compound eyes. Go on then, Growlithe said, shooing him away. If bugs could mope, this one did as it stalked away from them into the dense jungle where it could no longer be seen. Whoa, that was insane. But, why didn't you kill it? Desmond asked. Growlithe looked at the leftovers from the mantis's previous meal and the two knife-like segments of insect appendages on the ground. It's better to be nice than to be dead. Okay, Desmond said, going back to his chopping. Chadwick rose to his feet and dusted off his clothes. Alright, I'm cool now. Allison pointed ahead. We're actually, right here. Lo and behold, the wham-ass was right before them. Glad I could be of help, Allison said before turning around. Whether or not you die today, make sure you take out the monsters, or else you'll never gain any of our trust and we won't give you a funeral. Yeah, we get it, Chadwick said, slapping the rusty button below the ship's hull. The trapdoor above them squeaked open and the rusty ramp extended. That is one ghetto spaceship, by the way, Allison said. Yeah, get stabbed in the neck and die, Chadwick said, before the 4-man party, or 3-man party plus Space Eagle, entered the ship. The thrusters activated, and the Winnebago-sized hunk of rust and scrap metal ascended into the skies and disappeared through the hazy yellow clouds of Venus's atmosphere. Maybe I should start being nicer to my only friends, Allison thought to himself before turning around. As he did, a giant scorpion backflipped out of a tree and stabbed him in the neck.
Backflipped?
You backflipped out of a tree and stabbed him in the neck. Not like this, he said before dying.
Oh, he just died.
That's it. That's the part of that's it of part 1. Okay, so Chadwick piloted his winged and massive spaceship halfway across the solar system. In reverse order, he passed Jupiter, Mars, and would have passed Earth if it was still an object in space, but it wasn't. Long story. Check episode 5 of the Chatmen.
Good. Throw an ad in there.
Yeah. But eventually, they made it to their destination, Saturn. More specifically, one of Saturn's 62 plus moons, Titan. Here's some facts about Titan. The atmosphere is really dense, and the gravity is really low. This might not mean much, but the extremes are so high that it's possible to levitate just by flapping your arms.
That's pretty cool.
This is IRL, guys. There is more water on Titan than Earth, and that's enough science for today. Close your textbooks, put them below your desk. Now it's story time again, alright? Titan is a dark and icy world, warmed to survivability by the geothermal heat from its modified atmosphere and the gas giant it revolves around.
It's like Wikipedia up in
Its life forms are the most unusual in the solar system, as they include foliage that, among other things, resemble colossal, pink and purple, fur-covered mushrooms growing straight out of the ice crust.
That's really gross.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, now close your pamphlets.
But where do you keep getting all this school supplies?
Put them in your front pocket. Your trunk pocket.
Yep.
Eyes on me again.
Trunk pocket.
Eyes on me.
Pocket,
eyes on me. That is not right, Chadwick said, peering out the force shield to observe the black skyline. When's morning? It's been morning, Desmond said, checking his tablet. But it's positive 4.9 a.m. now. Where did you get that tablet? Chadwick asked. Found it, Desmond said. Growlithe observed the atmosphere, then asked, if this happens every 520 years... He's dyslexic. It's totally 250. It's 2 centuries and a half.
What's it called? We have dyslexia, only it's numbers.
Only it's not? Yeah, you know. If this happens every 520 years, what year is it today? Also, it's speaking, so it's like not even...
Yeah.
Desmond replied, we lost track of what year it was, that shit, like hundreds, thousands, 10,000s of years ago. I don't even know. That's a touchy argument. Can we not get into politics right now? Chadwick asked. Hawking crowed in agreement. Growlard crossed his arms. Politics is a man's game. Desmond and Chadwick kind of scratched their necks uncomfortably. I care don't much for games either, Growlard continued. Desmond stood up and hurried over to the closet. Once Chadwick caught on, he shouted, "Oh, hell no! Orange is mine!" Hawking preened his feathers, then ruffled them up. What's this now? Growlard asked, tilting his head. Desmond exclaimed, "You always get the orange jumpsuit. Be generous." "Fuck you, I do what I want," Chadwick said. "Not be generous." Growlard stroked his stubbly chin. What is a jumpsuit? Hawking dug through the closet and pulled out a gas mask and then a beak full of black cloths and dropped them on the floor. Let me drink some more Red Bull. It tastes like garbage.
It's a beverage.
It is one.
That's the new ad for Red Bull.
I like that. I do buy a lot of it just so I can feel good. I don't like the taste. I get the cranberry because like the sour kind of...
I thought for a second we were back in the story.
No. Okay. All right. Back to the story.
Back to the story.
Keep the jumpsuit. I forgot, Chadwick said. He removed his dusty black trench coat and leather combat boots. He put on black gloves, a black long-sleeved shirt, and wrapped them tightly to his body with the roll of black cloth. He did the same with the second pair of pants and socks that were both black, then put his black black boots on. Then finally, he put the gas mask on, black earmuffs, and went over his whole head with the exception of his eye goggles in the gas mask with some more black cloth. You look like, what are those things called? Shino Ninja somethings. The ones that speak Malaysian, Growlard said. Desmond eyed him. You always have to look the coolest. Well, at least I don't have to settle with the egg white jumpsuit or the sea gut blooder brown one now. Hawking crowed, then motioned toward a hole in the spacesuit's leg. The orange spacesuit's leg. Yeah, I forgot that happened when we were saving Growlard from the Mercury prison, Chadwick said. Anyway, I look coolest, and you have to settle with the egg white now. Damn it. That means Growlard gets the brown suit, Chadwick said. I don't need a suit, Growlard said. You're immune to the cold as well? Chadwick asked. Don't need to breathe either, Growlard confirmed. What are you again? I'm a starman. Oh, I always thought you were saying that like, I'm a star, man. No. Everyone picked a jetpack off.
That happened.
Yep. Everyone picked a jetpack off the wall as Chadwick hammered the button that made the hatch open, and they stepped out into the icy plains of Titan. I like to picture that he's like just hammering it over and over again before it actually works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it finally opens. And icy plains of Titan. Suddenly, Desmond's tablet started to vibrate. Oh, it's positive 5 a.m. now, he said. Just then, the icy plates began to shift, and a worm the size of Mount Evergreen erupted out of the ground and let out a ferocious squeal. Chadwick stopped, dead in his tracks, and cocked his plasma rifle. Let's do this. Growlard stepped forward and dropped his jetpack on the ground. This will down only me slow. He paused for a second. Did I say that sentence right? That felt wrong coming out of my mouth like that. Desmond eyed the beast, fastened his jetpack to Hawking, and withdrew his plasma machete from its hilt. The colossal worm let out a screech that shattered the white ice around them and parted the gray clouds from the black and blue skies. It whipped its tail around and smacked a colossal pink and purple striped furry mushroom. There's something off-putting about those growths, and I can't put quite my finger on it, Growlard said. I'm surprised you almost said that correctly, Desmond replied. Growlard arched his eyebrows. Why? Chadwick darted off into the skies with a leap, then operated his jetpack. He accelerated like a rocket, and he peppered the side of the worm with a flurry of radiant plasma beams that reflected off of its skin. I fucking didn't even add that part. I just was adding shit to paint you a picture.
Painting pictures.
Anyway, the worm craned its head, or more accurately, the fleshy segment at the end with all the teeth, toward Chadwick and lunged at him. But like a fly, Chadwick could not be caught by an animal of that slow, large nature, being that large. Proofreading.
proofreading.
It's important.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all. What he could be caught by, though, was the monster that appeared soon after. The gigantic mushroom began to shift and rumble, and out of the ice emerged a head, the face of a bearded man, without any eyes, poked forth from the ice. The shaft, I mean the trunk, of the mushroom, resembling a sort of hairstyle as it peeked from the top of the monster's head. But if this was only the monster's head, being almost as big as the distracted worm, then how could the rest of it be? The answer to that question, not 100, but 300 front yards.
Oh, geez.
That's how tall he is.
That's like a million. That's like a billion.
Something.
That's a lot.
It's close enough. You're close enough.
It's really big.
A hand ruptured from the ice to pull him out,
Jeez.
followed by another hand, and another hand. Oh no, Desmond said. Growlithe looked at him puzzled. This hasn't happened in a while, but I'm psychic, and I'm getting a vision,
right.
and I'm getting a vision of what's coming next. Hands erupted out of the ice, turning the entire land they stood on into a slush as the horizon rippled, and 300, 400, 500 hands reached for the skies.
That's a lot of hands.
The worm stopped concentrating on Chadwick the moment he felt enough vibrations to realize something was up behind him. I am hungry, said the 900-handed beast, pulling 300 legs out of the icy crust.
Wait, is he like sitting on the edge and like pulling his legs up?
He's
fishing them
something. I don't know.
What is?
I just like to think that he's just like stepping out of the ice like stairs with all his legs.
I was gonna say, like, if he's like pulling them out with his hands. Let's say there's two.
He could. He's got
two
enough
hands per leg. What is
3
the
hands
other,
per leg.
I was gonna say, what's the other 300 hands doing?
I don't know.
Playing rock paper scissors against each other while they
doing
wait?
whatever they want.
Okay.
You know, twiddling their thumbs. Okay, he eyed the squealing worm and picked it up off the ground as it struggled and squirmed in his hands. However many he was holding the worm with is a mystery.
Yeah.
He opened his bearded mouth wide and dropped it into his toothless gums. That is, they appeared toothless, until the toothy tendrils from his throat emerged from his throat. That's good. That's not redundant. And individually devoured the colossal worm.
Individually?
Yeah, each of the toothy tendrils from his mouth, each are esophaguses.
Oh, okay.
Of their own.
Was he have like 45 of those?
He's like a Sarlacc from Star Wars Special Edition Episode 6 with the mouth inside the mouth. Anyway, except he has a lot of them. So,
exactly like the Sarlacc.
Yeah, except Sarlacc has one, but,
okay, let's start.
Chadwick came back down to Growlithe and Desmond. The head, or cap, of that mushroom goes through the clouds, he said. I don't think we have a chance here. Growlithe stepped forth. Be back in less than seconds 89, he said, slipping on a pair of sunglasses from his pocket.
That's pretty cool.
He flapped his arms and rose into the atmosphere. Chadwick, Desmond, and Hawking looked at each other. It'd be faster if you just... They motioned to the jetpack. Growlithe's arms broke Mach 17 and turned into a blur that broke the space around him as he whirled around in a tight circle like a propeller. It would have been an understatement to say that he rocketed or darted towards the monster, because he beamed towards it at sonic speed so super, the dense atmosphere never stopped screaming at him to stop. He went through one of the monster's hands, then another, all simultaneously. After about 50 of his hands were oozing purple, the colossal pink mushroom-headed fur monster started to realize something was up. Who is there? Growlithe halted and hummingbirded in one spot. Growlithe, Venus's superstar soldier. What do those words mean? The 900-handed beast grumbled. It means go back to sleep for 52 years. It's just all the numbers. It's just,
backwards.
Nope. Yep. You hurt my hands. I need them to heal, the monster says. So I eat you now. Growlithe straightened his back, still hummingbirding, and said,
That's
and said, it's be better to dead to nice than be. Die, human! The monster brought down all his hands to slap at the pest, but the pest went through every one of his hands. All 900 of them. He went through all 900 hands, all 900 wrists, then all 900 elbows, then all 900 shoulders. All 900 arm segments sprung out of him like a fountain of candy gum sticks and planted into the ice crust, where they took root and later took on the forms of giant mushrooms themselves.
Oh, jeez. It's
So
not good.
He's probably done this himself. He's the reason.
Oh.
He's done this before. Growler landed beside the trio of his friends, who stared at him with expressions more shocked than you will ever muster in your life. I am a star, man. Chadwick, covered in his awesome all-black clothing, was feeling extremely overshadowed by Growler's absolute coolness. Well, I guess it's time to head back now? A second. Danger is afoot. The giant leapt forward them. The giant leapt toward them with all 300 feet aimed at their immediate vicinity. Get it? Danger is afoot. But Growler zipped up into the air and dismantled him like one dismantles a bag of rice when you pour out a bag of rice.
Wow, what an analogy.
And then rip up the bag of rice.
Is that an analogy?
It's just something.
Yeah, it's a...
Dismantled him like you dismantle a bag of rice when you pour out a bag of rice and then rip up the bag of rice. Growler landed beside them and looked off into the distance. Yes. Guess I too, time is now to backhead. The end.
Well... Well, I'll give you had some creative description.
Thanks!
I like that. That was good.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a good ending.
What do you think this is the best one yet, or do you think it's the second best one yet?
I don't think it's the best. Maybe it's the best. No. It's really good, though.
I don't know. I think my first one is the best still. Yeah, it's simple. But
well,
anyway.
Guys, if you like that, it feels weird. I'm going to do the little YouTube whoring out that you're supposed to do at the end of the video. I'm going to do it right now because part 1 of this video is coming to a close.
Oh my goodness, you probably didn't even know by the fact that the YouTube slider was almost to the end.
It's creeping up. Look at it go.
Oh, what?
Look at it go.
I think it's about time for you to close out now so you can hit part 2.
Whoa, real quick, yeah. Part 2 is going to have my story. But guys, if you liked Phil's story, here's what you can do. Write us an email. Say, Phil, I liked the rice.
Thank you.
I
like rice too.
I liked the nice that you are.
It's better to be nice than to be dead.
Well, you should go to the Facebook page. It's all this is in the description, guys.
Oh snap!
Go to the Facebook page.
Oh
Why don't
snap!
you like the Facebook page and say, "Hey Phil, that was a good story. I like it."
Thanks. Oh, but that was you saying that they were saying that, so you weren't giving me that compliment.
I didn't like it.
Oh, well.
But guys,
well, hey, Truman's about to tell his story.
Part 1's over now.
Bye.
What a fucking way to end the episode.
Good.